Lost in this moment here with you. The way you look in this room, we go round and around and around and around our heads. We can go and we go and we go till someone says, honey, I want you forever. You're the best thing, you're my treasure. No matter what we're doing, there's no pressure. You make it so it's better weather. Oh, we go round and around and around and around our heads. And we go and we go and we go till someone says, let the stars just shine on through. Try to light up this still moon. Fill the skies with your perfume as we stare up at the moon. When we stand up, we're dazed. Love like this doesn't fade. You tell me to stay, make it just another better day. I will run, I will run, I will run to you. It feels like I might fall through. I know if I fall, you'll catch me. Surrender my heart into a deep sea. If I have a trouble, I know that you will understand me. Let the stars just shine on through. Try to light up this still moon. Fill the skies with your perfume as we gaze up at the let the stars just shine on through. Just light up this still moon. Fill the skies with your perfume as we go right to the moon. Let the light bounce off the walls as we lie here on the floor, higher than we were before. Drunk on love like it's alcohol. Drunk on love like it's alcohol. Ooh. Drunk on love like it's alcohol. Ooh.
All right.
Drunk on love like it's alcohol.
Here we go.
Ooh.
So,
Drunk on love like it's alcohol. Yeah.
all right, guys. That was one of my latest singles by Lou. That was it. That was Love Like Alcohol. That's gonna be one of my new songs on my album, Level Up. Guys, what's up? What's crack-a-lackin'? It's a new day. My freaking door is open again, like every fucking podcast, so I have to change the lip. God damn it. For those of you that don't know, that is my cat's litter box. That is my cat's shitter right there. That is, so when he lays his business, dude, holy god moly. Oh my lord. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good week so far. It's been a change. Let's see. I think I shaved my face since the last podcast. I don't know. I got sick of the whiskers. It was driving me nuts. I don't know if anyone's ever had like a mustache or like a beard or anything like that, but you get like the whiskers. maybe it's for some people. For me, I get whiskers like in the mouth. Like it sucks. It's like my hair is giving me a freaking blowjob, and it's not fun. So I just decided to shave it and just kind of do its thing, you know. And boy, I tell you, my face is not liking shaving. I'll tell you that much. I've gotten razor burn like every freaking time I've shaved, and I've gotten two different razors, and I got one with the 6 blades. And I got one with the 4 blades, and they, they're the all terrain, and then there's like the fine trim, and it's like Jesus Christ, I just want something. I just need something that's not gonna kill my face. It's brutal. It's been brutal, but it's a change. I like it. With the EP, with the album coming out, I'm gonna be doing some photos for it, so I want a new look. So I want to revamp Lou. For those of you that do know and haven't followed me, I didn't have a beard for the full time. It just kind of happened. I just woke up and it was just like there. It really was. And to shave a beard, man, it's a pain in the butt. And money's money, and I don't want to be wasting all my money on razors. And now I'm like, why not? But I hope you guys get ready. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. We're going to talk about, this past Easter. We're going to talk about some hobbies of mine, hobbies of yours. Spring is literally almost over. Summer is approaching, even though I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. It's a chilly day where I'm at. It's like 46 degrees. But even though I'm like, summer's around the corner, summer is just around the corner here in New England, and fishing season's almost ready. So I have some fishing stories. I have some outdoor stories for you guys that you guys are going to really like. They're really funny. And just gonna talk about this Easter. I need my ukulele though to start. What am I doing? I need the ukulele to start the song, right? Start the podcast. Good Lord. Phew. All right, ready? Well, I'm bored as shit, got nothing to do during this quarantine time, so I might as well just sit in my house and make a podcast. It's podcast time. Come on. Podcast, vlogcast, whatever you may call it. I've been trying to figure out how to get on the other platforms with this shaboodle. But, shaboodle, that's a new word. But honestly, I just don't know how. I've been trying to find all these videos on YouTube. I learned everything from YouTube. I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to record music. I learned everything you've watched me do. It's because of YouTube. It's not a joke. Let me put this back. So yeah, I do it, watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there's not many videos on like how to stream and do all that stuff, podcast, and I'm sure there's some, but they don't want to tell you the tricks of the trade, my friend. It's like being a magician, you gotta really dig deep, I don't know why I snore like that, being like a nerd, but anyway, yeah, so today's video is sponsored by nobody, just an FYI, because I'm a nobody in the eyes of YouTube. So if you guys like these types of videos, you can always just feel free to donate to the Venmo or something like that. It always helps out. But if you like the videos, definitely just subscribe and like that stuff, like that shit, because that's the way to do it. That is just the way to make the world a better place. But we're gonna get into story time. So get ready, sit down. We're just gonna have fun with it. Yeah, so let's go. So album's out. First of all, I just want to say that the album is out, so you guys can go check out my album right now. Well, not now, technically. You can't check it out now, but you can go pre-save it soon, because the pre-orders are gonna be happening on May 1st, and then it's gonna be released on June 1st. So that's super exciting for me. Can't wait for that. You guys can go check that out on my Facebook page. I have all the links right there, Instagram, all that good stuff. So I'm super excited. 30 songs. That's a lot of songs. Not many people do that. So you get 30 songs and a lot of goodness. You get hip hop. You get hip hop. You get acoustic. You get electronic. You get like kind of like a chill EDM. You get a little bit of country. If you're not into country, there's only like 2 tracks in there, so you're good. You got your sweet love songs. You got your deep stuff. It's about depression, anxiety. I'm talking about drugs, alcohol. I'm talking about homelessness. I'm talking about everyday people in these songs. So this is really just it's a big hug from me to you, to all my listeners and all that stuff. So go check it out. It's going to be coming out soon. Level Up. It's going to be an awesome album. I can't wait. Happy Easter. It was Easter this weekend. Fuck. It's crazy how things just kind of fly by. We're already in April. My birthday is 420. 420, blaze it for all my stoners. It is 420, so that is a holiday. So happy 420 to all my stoners out there. Right on, gnarly. Hit it up. For those of you that are, if you see me vaping, that's just vape. I am just vaping. It's actually no weed in here. There's just nicotine. So it's just a thing of mine to do now. I quit smoking cigarettes a month ago, and I've had this. I've always been a vapor. I've always had this since I was in college. It's my college vape. Had it forever. For those of you who don't know and are like, what the hell is that? It's just a vaping device. It's like what the cool kids are using nowadays, like the Juul pens. Well, I'm like an old-fashioned, what they call a hipster. And I use the box because I'm old school. I believe it or not, I've been going in vape stores, and no vape stores have this sort of stuff anymore. It's all the Juuls and the pens and the pods and all that stuff. So I order it online now, which sucks because I hate ordering online. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a great thing to have. I love, the accessibility to, if you want to order anything, you can order right then and there. But every time I order something, I have like the worst patience. I'm like a kid on Christmas because I'm just waiting for the product, and it sucks. So I just like to go and buy it usually. I'm like that kind of in-person buyer. That's what I like to do. Guys. But Easter, it was Easter this past weekend. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Easter. It was for me, it was a great Easter. I had a gig at Tumbledown over in Sanbornville, New Hampshire, and then afterwards I drove over to my family's house to hang out with them. And it was a good time, man. Even the show was a good time. The vibe was good. I liked it. A lot of people came out, and God bless you guys for coming out because it's Easter, so I get that. And luckily Tumbledown. If you guys hear noises in the background, I apologize. Apartment stuff, you're gonna hear some random shit every now and then. I think that's like either the mail truck or the dump truck, one of the two things. But my Easter was after the gig was good. It was a good time. And like I was just saying, Tumbledown has a really good food. So I actually got a lot of food when I left because I was like, God dang it, your guys' specials are fantastic today. So, and they always have good specials regardless. But these ones just really spoke out to me. But then afterwards, I ended up going to my family's house. And I don't know. Recently my mom had just gone through like a huge kind of like a flip upside down. She almost died, guys. Like, my mom actually almost passed away not too long ago, and she had a bad blood infection that went through her spine, and it was just really bad. And she already had like some issues with her neck, and it wasn't good. She's always been in and out of hospitals. And she was I remember she was complaining about her shoulder hurting, and she went into one hospital because she fainted or something like that, and then one hospital tripped on to another. It was like boom, it was like a domino effect. It was and then what started, they thought it was like a UTI or something like that, but it got really way worse. And it just, one hospital gave her what they thought was a medication to treat what she was going through, and it actually became a steroid. It actually kicked, like, it pushed the disease forward. It really gave it steroids. When you give something steroids, it gets beefed up, and it just took over her whole body, and she went into shock pretty much, and she had to go into a surgery where her whole back was just like split open. I don't want to get too much into detail. She's good now. She's a lot better, guys. She's walking. They told her she was never going to be able to drive again and stuff like that and walk, and she's, believe it or not, she has a like a, what do they call it? Like a wheelchair. She has a wheelchair, and then she has a walker, and she likes to scoot around in the wheelchair because it's easier for her. But she's getting more able to like stand up and walk and do all that stuff. But man, my mom's a trooper. But when she told me to come over, like, she was like, well, what we ended up doing was, I'm sorry, I mixed up my days. So Sunday we actually ended up going to my fiance's family, And then on Monday we went to my family. Sunday was a fantastic day. It was a great day. We got to see all of her family and all that stuff. I ended up showing up at like 4 o'clock. It was a nice day though. But Monday, I remember my mom. She was like, "You need to come over at like noon," and I'm like, "Noon? Why noon?" Because like Christina doesn't get out of work until like 6 o'clock. So why do I need to be over at noon? She was like, "Oh, we need to go do a little bit of grocery shopping." So my mom needs like help grocery shopping and stuff like that because again, she's in a wheelchair. She can't drive right now. So I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll come over at noon then. We'll go grocery shopping. Now, I just released. No, I didn't release my album yet because I just released it yesterday. And I had like a couple more songs just to look over and just do it. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I could be spending time doing this music stuff, but I mean, I love my mom and I love helping her out. So I was like, I'll just put that on hold and go hang out with my mom for a bit. So I get there and she's just chilling. She's chilling. She's a drink in her hand. She's just chilling. And I'm like, what's up? I thought we had to go somewhere. She's like, no, you don't have to go anywhere. And I was like, you don't have to go anywhere, Mom. Why am I here at noon then? She was like, oh, I don't know. I guess you can help me cook. And I was like, oh, I see. I felt like Bob. I don't know if you guys watch Bob's Burgers, where Bob's there's this episode where he gets him and his family go to like a retirement homes like Thanksgiving or something like that, and the cook didn't even show up at the retirement home, so Bob gets wrapped into cooking the whole dinner. Well, we cooked a fantastic dinner. My mom, she helped me. We helped each other. She was telling me, like the ingredients and like some of the recipes that I grew up with, and it was fun. It was fun. But it was funny because there's some dishes that my mom cooks that I've never been a fan of. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you guys have that with your family, but like for me, there's just some things that my mom used to cook that I could never get with. And one of them was a green bean casserole. I don't know why people like green bean casserole. I don't understand. I don't know who is the guy that thought, or the person that thought, hear me out, guys. Let's take mushrooms. Let's take cream. Put it in a can. But it's going to taste delicious in dishes. Oh. I don't know the research. I don't know the history of that. But it was just one of those things when we're making the green bean casserole. My mom makes it. The way green bean casserole is made is with green beans, cream of mushrooms, and milk. And that was it. And onions and like the crisp onions on top, and then you put it in the oven and you bake it. And then another thing that my mom does is she don't use timers. She doesn't use timers, which blows my mind. But I mean, when you've been cooking for that long, I mean, you probably don't even need timers. But I'm one of those people that, I mean, I've worked in almost 8 restaurants, and to not cook with a timer just gives me anxiety. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel. How do you know when it's done? You're just looking and I feel like you're just popping your head in the oven every 20 minutes. So that was something I learned, but I trusted her. We met in the middle, and it was really interesting. It was very how do I say this? What's the word I'm looking for? Eye-opening? I don't know. It was I haven't cooked with my mom in years, man. I mean, it's been a long time. And we were just her recipes and, with the ham, especially with the ham, because I love ham. Ham is like my thing. And I had found this recipe on YouTube that just looked absolutely mouth-watering. And the way the woman cooked it was she took brown sugar. She made her own glaze, and then she made it with brown sugar, butter, maple syrup, honey, cinnamon, nutmeg. What was it? Some other things. And sriracha. Just a little, like a teaspoon of sriracha, which we had no sriracha, so we didn't even use that. But making it, my mom was like, "There's no way you're putting this on the ham." So the way my mom makes her ham is she'll get the ham that's like sliced up, you know what I mean? It's like a block, I don't know what they call them, But then they get like the jar of the ham glaze, and then what they'll do is they'll just cook the ham and put the glaze over it and do all that stuff. But what I did was I did the glaze. I made this glaze from scratch, and then what I did was, because she was so off put by it, that I took her glaze, the store bought one, and added it into mine, and I think I created something. I think it did something way better, because I'm gonna have to do it next year, because it was one of those things I was gonna just make it a whole scratch batch, if that makes sense. And she was, we compromised and we met in the middle and we added both, and I just remember we put the tinfoil over it, and I basted it a few times, but it actually got burnt on the sides, but it actually was the best part. People loved it was just crunchy. It was just like a perfect crunch on the outside, and the ham was beautifully flavored. It was delicious. And I also helped season the chicken, which was crazy because my mom was just putting like really small portions of the seasons onto the chicken. I'm like, you're not gonna get any flavor. You're not gonna get any flavor if you do it that way. So I just took it and I just she turns around. I'm just like, I just dumped half the thing on it, and I just want to make it a good chicken. That's all. You want it to be flavorful. And the best part, I need comments on this. I need comments right now. I need a clear debate me and my family are having, because it's a serious debate, my friends. When you eat a chicken, what do you think is the best part of a chicken? Like a roasted chicken, what do you think is the best part? I want you to comment below what you think, and I'm open to all opinions, because I'd like to hear your opinion on what you think the best part of the chicken is, a roasted chicken. Personally, for me, I like the skin. Now, I'm not just saying just the plate of skin. I like to eat it with my chicken. I think that is the best part of the chicken, because that's where the flavor is. That's where you get that it's just the flavor. It's flavor. It's the best flavor. Oh, I know if my mom would be watching this, or my dad, they'd be laughing, because what ended up happening was my dad threw out all the skin of the chicken. I have no idea why, because I cooked it, I left it, and then my dad always cuts the chicken. That's what he does. So I leave and I go upstairs, waiting for it to be served, and next thing you know, I see the chicken. I'm like, Dad, where's all the skin? And he's like, gone. And I'm like, what? That's like a sin. That is a sin right there. I thought that was insane. I thought that was insanity. It was crazy. So I want to know what you guys believe is the best part of the chicken. Personally, I think when it, and in specific, a roasted chicken, I think for me, it's definitely going to be, what is it? The skin. Absolutely. The legs. I always like the legs too. That's just like that. I've always been like a drumstick, kind of like the legs of the roasted chicken. I've always been that. I don't know why. I like the dark meat. I like the mix of the light and the dark meat, but it was an eye turner. It was an eye turner. That kind of blew my mind. But wow. Side note. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Hope you guys are enjoying the week so far. Let's see what else. I hope you guys, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, like, comment. Don't be shy. What else? We're going to do a little transition here. We're going to start talking about some other things. We're going to start talking about hobbies in just a minute. I'm just going to take a little drink really quick. But I hope you guys have hobbies. I hope people that watch, YouTube was the reason why I'm into hobbies. I'm not going to lie. I've learned everything from YouTube. I was talking about this earlier, and I did. Guitar, I learned how on YouTube. Marty Schwartz, Justin Guitar here. He taught me how to play guitar. And the guy with the handlebar mustache, I forget his name. If you guys know in the comments, comment below. I forget his name. He was a fun guy though, and I used to. Really just I don't know why I went to YouTube. I don't know why
how, but it just happened. And once I feel like you learn, once you've learned something on a source, whether it be a book or whether it be YouTube or internet, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be, and it works for you, you start using more of it, because it's a resource for you. I think there's something that is what we do as humans. When we find something that works for us, we just continuously do it, and that's just in our nature. Common sense too. But I always just use YouTube. Simple as that. And then I used it for recording, how to record music, how to play music, how to play live music, how to use a mixer, how to use a microphone, how to use an audio interface, how to use Ableton, how to set up an amp, how to tune a guitar, how to wire a guitar, how to do epoxy, how to go fishing, how to set up your lines, how to catch this fish, how to catch that fish, how to loop, how to play piano, how to make Native American flutes. Oh my God, this is countless. The list goes on and on. And spring's around I keep saying spring, but summer is just around the corner, and I'm super excited because summer is usually when I take advantage of the outdoors in New England. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm constantly outside, whatever it may be. I'll be going hiking, I'll be going fishing, or doing something. I'll be doing something. And that's just the nature of it is. Nature of it is, that does not make any sense. That's just the nature of how it is. And I hope you guys can relate to that, because for me, I have a few stories in mind that I want to talk about that they're just funny, and they're kind of learning ones too. Like it's summertime, so if you're thinking about getting a kayak, or this is the time to get a kayak, or if you get into those outdoor sports, definitely do it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the best place is, for me, and I'm talking specifics with kayaks. Go to Walmart. Go to what's a tractor supply company? What are they called? Tractor trailer supply. And it sounds weird when I say it, but they sell kayaks. I almost bought mine from there, but I ended up buying mine from Walmart. And here's the story with my kayak. I wish I had a picture of it, or it was around, but it's in the other room, and hung up. So I'm not going to do that right now. But I bought a kayak from Walmart years and years ago when I was in college. And it was like $200 probably back then. And over the years, I just would find things that my family would have or something, and I'd be like, hey, are you using this? And they'd be like, no. Like, I remember one thing was a clothes hanger thing, and it was like one of those round retractable clothesline things that you would hang up. And I have that on my kayak. I actually mounted it onto my kayak. And the reason why I did that was so that way I could use my anchor. So I have an anchor, and I have like an anchor system, and I set that up. And you can do this relatively cheap, very cheap, and you can find it all on YouTube. Just search up, kayak anchor system DIY, and you'll find DIY is the best. I guess that's the way I should be wording it. DIY. I DIY everything, and it's just the way I've always been. That's just how I've always done everything. So yeah, when I definitely, if I could recommend anything to anyone that wants to get, kayaking is fun, man. Believe it or not, I was afraid of water. Before I met Christina, I had the biggest fear of water. And there's so many stories about that. I drowned a lot growing up. It wasn't that I was a bad swimmer. It was, I don't know if anyone has this experience when you go in the water, you kind of like have a weird breathing system, and it like a breath, you have a weird breath. And it's never like that in pools or anything like that, but it's like that in like ponds, lakes. Like if I go actually swimming in open water, there's like a vulnerability my mind feels. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It just happens. And it just happens. Like I can't even I control it. It's almost like something that my mind or like my past life has like trauma from. So it just naturally happens. So I don't really go swimming much. Even till this day, I'm not really a big swimmer. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll go in pools and things like that, but when it actually goes to open water, I'm all set. Just because I've never had the best luck with it. Yeah, I remember there was the first time I can remember was the first time I drowned, I think when I was 6 or something. I was at a friend's house that had a pond that you could swim in, and we were swimming in it, and they had a jump rope, and I jumped off the rope, and once I hit the water, my body freaked out. It just freaked right out. So I just remember someone came up and got me and just, coughed the water, because like my body was in shock. It wasn't like I was fainted underwater. I just kind of like froze. I remember seeing everything happen, and they just kind of pulled me out of the water, and we were very deep in the water. I mean, it was really deep. And that was the first time. And there was like another time where I was at what was it called? Like a campground that had like a big body of water. It was on like a body of water. Me and my friends were out deep, and my body just freaked out. I was trying to find it. I remember trying to be on a buoy and being like, give me a minute. And they're all like horsing around. And I was like, no, seriously, give me a minute. And then my body just freaked out. And then I remember having to wait the lifeguard to come get me. And that's always the worst feeling. Then there was another time, like there was like so many times. There's one time in Florida, I specifically remember, that freaked me the hell out. I don't think I've talked about this on here. Interesting enough. Maybe I have, but you know what? Maybe I'll talk about this. I'm debating if I want to talk about this right now. Let's see. Do I want to? We were gonna talk about hobbies, but you know what? We're gonna talk about this, and maybe if I've talked about it before, call me out, whatever it need be. But we're gonna go with it here. So when I was young, I think in one of my podcasts just recently, I talked about this trip I went to in Florida or somewhere with a friend. This was the same trip, and at the end of the trip, this was a good friend of mine that, we're neighborhood friends, and during the time there was another neighborhood friend that ended up moving down to Florida, and they surprised us down there. That was one of the things that did end up happening at that trip, was this friend surprised us, and it was awesome. It was great, because not much for my other friend that I was with, wasn't really good friends with him, but I considered him a very good friend of mine growing up, because he was very outdoorsy. He was always really smart. He was really smart with animals, and he was borderline weird with animals. You know what I mean? When you had kids that were like picking up like insects and being like, I know everything about this insect. He was that kid, but for me, I love knowledge. I even loved knowledge when I was a kid, and so when someone knew that much and he was right all the time about it, I would just be like, it's kind of like watching the Crocodile Hunter, It was kind of like he literally was like a walking, talking crocodile hunter. You know what I mean? So he was a good friend of mine, and we'd always go out, and we'd always build forts in the woods or something like that. It was the funnest thing. I loved doing that when I was a kid, building forts like out of sticks and just building like a city in the woods. We'd build like a fortress. I love stuff like that. That was the funnest stuff, and we'd always do stuff like that. And, we always like sell kids caterpillars because he had like a big container, and he would collect these like caterpillars, and I remember we tried to sell them to people. It was a fun time. And so when we were at this Florida trip, the one thing he wanted to do was he wanted to walk the sandbar, because he saw it when we were on the patio, and he was like, oh, sandbars are really and he was still like this. And during this time, I was probably 6th, 7th grade, so I forget what age that is, but you can kind of do the math. But maybe 13, 12. So he's like, I want to walk the sandbar. This is fun because you can see it. And I remember being on the patio and we're looking down at the sandbar in the ocean, and it went out for a while. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. That's fun. And if you've ever been on a sandbar, it's really shallow. Like, it's literally like up to your ankles. Like, you're fine. But we got really far out. Like, we got way too far out. And all I remember was there was a big current out of nowhere. We got pushed off from it, and it was like your typical movie, like we were all scurrying around like, oh god. And I ended up cutting my hand on coral, and I didn't know. And it was like a big gash going down the side of my arm. And we didn't know. And we're just trying to get back on the sandbar. And now, mind you, we're like what felt like during that time 5 miles away from shore. It was far. I remember looking back at the hotel, and the hotel was like small. Like, it was small. We were really far out, which probably wasn't a smart thing at the time. But when you were with that friend, you always knew that if it was nature, you're pretty much in good hands with him. So it didn't worry me. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever had that when someone like knows what they're doing, you can trust them, and you're like, all right, I don't have to worry that much. Well, that's what happened. I felt like I could trust the kid, and I was like, all right, you know your thing. I'm not, you know. Well, what ended up happening was a boat came. This is after I cut my hand, and we just got back on the sandbar, and I think we started to walk back. But the current was really picking up, and it was starting to wash away the sandbar. So our friend was freaking out. I almost just dropped his name, but he was freaking out, and he always did this typical like this scream. He'd always do this typical like scream. But this is the one time that usually, like, when as kids we laughed because it was like he was never in any danger. He was just like a very anxious being, very social anxiety, and when this happened, this scream, when that happened, and I was just telling you how when you trust someone, you can calm down. But when that person screams, that's when you know you can't relax anymore. So things started getting out of hand. Like, we're a little out of hand. Just like we're really losing our track. We're losing the sandbar. We're falling off constantly. A boat is starting to come over as it's really starting to pick up the chaos. And the boat picks us up, brings us back to shore, and on the meantime, he's literally like explaining, and that's when I realized my hand was cut. Right when I got picked up to go back on the boat, the guy was like, no wonder why. And he was like, oh yeah, we were actually just watching you guys, and we saw you guys fall off, and we had to get on the boat and come over to you guys, and then we saw a bunch of fins come out. Now, we don't know if those were shark fins or dolphin fins. We don't know, but our best guess was it was shark fins, because like I said, I cut myself, and I think Brett had cut him. I just dropped his name. Dang it. No one's probably gonna watch this, so I'm not too worried about it. But he did. I think he did cut himself. But yeah, other than that, we got back and everything was fine. We didn't even talk about it to our parents. We didn't, because we were so scared. We just said that we just fell. You know, when they asked about like the scratches, oh, we just fell, you know, something like that. Because we knew that we were going to get our butts handed to us if we told them the truth. And that was a really scary thing. So that's just why, I mean, another reason why I'm afraid of open water. So it's just another factor to it all. You know, when I met Christina, she was very all about water. So we had to meet in the middle. And the one thing that we found was kayaking. I don't know why. I think it's because my mind's more fascinated on something else than the water. Does that make sense? So my mind's kind of distracted. It's not necessarily that it takes away, because there's moments where I do kind of freak out. And that's what my story was going to be about, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. How what are we in? 40 minutes. So yeah, I might talk about that. But she made me get over it. I will admit, I'm not that good yet with open water getting in myself, but I can get in kayaks, and I'm very good with them and very comfortable in water with kayaking. And if I get comfortable enough in the environment, I might try to go swimming. Like I've literally tried to, in a few places we've gone swimming. I'm like, the water is beautiful right here. I think we actually did in one of our favorite spots, because there's a spot in the middle of the lake where a bunch of rocks kind of come out, and it's cool because to the people on shore you wouldn't notice it, but believe it or not, in the middle there's like a bunch of rocks, so it like piles up and you can put your kayak in it, and then it's kind of like a little island, and you can kind of go swimming, and it's cool, and it's really just open water. It's pretty. It's not scary. So that's another thing. I feel really I've been in that area so many times that it's not really a problem for me. So, but yeah, kayaking is one of the things that I got into that it certainly helped me get over my fear of water, for sure. And I'll tell you this, when I first got into kayaking, like when my mind gets on something, I want to do it. There's no holding me back. I'm going to do it. I've always been like that, and it's a bad thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's gone into me. It's bad, but for the most part, I just, when I want to do like my hobbies or something like that, when I'm really on my hobbies, like you can't stop me. Like I'm doing it. Like especially with music. Like music is definitely one of those things. Like especially with this album. Like I drove my fiance through the roof because I pull all-nighters. She would come home and I'd be like just glued to the laptop, just being like, I'm doing my thing. So like it's just kind of like what I am. And when I got my kayak, I was so dead set on it. Like I'm going I got it. I remember going kayaking the day I got it, and it was a horrible day. If you do this, don't do it. Kayaking, it's weird. You kind of get more in tune with the weather. You kind of, you're more alert with it. You definitely want to go when kayaking with winds 10 miles or less for winds. You know what I mean? 10 miles per hour. 10 miles per hour. Is that the way you say it? But either way, you just don't want it to be too fast, because when it's too fast, you're just going to get tossed around. Even if you have an anchor, you're just going to be spinning around. It's just not going to be fun. You're going to be fighting the wind. You're going to get more of a workout, and the more if you want to work out, hey, it's a good workout. But mostly for me and most people, they want to have like a nice chill time with kayaking. So that's what I do. I like to do the chill kayaking. I think that's a fun thing to do. So that's what I've always done. But the first day I got my kayak, it was not like that. The wind was really bad, but I was so dead set on it. I was like, I'm definitely going kayaking today. I remember texting people and like going kayaking, and I have videos on my phone. Oh my god, this is my old phone, so I ended up going kayaking, and guys, it was really, really bad. Like the weather was not pleasant, and what it ended up happening was it was like super duper windy out, and I kayaked all the way to the back of the pond, or the lake, because it was a lake, and there's white caps. I'm trying to get a video for you guys so I can kind of show this to you, because it was insanity. That's a fun word, even though that's not a word. Here it is. It was right before my Mexico trip. I remember that. Let's see this. Will it load is the question. Will it load?
So
Yep.
I came into this little cove.
Oh my god.
See these Tower 4 towers?
Yep, that was
How do I...
This is the video.
So here's Turtle all the way in the back. That's where I'm gonna go hit up right there, that tree.
You can hear the wind.
I'm probably gonna work my way back, hit that river over there. On my way here, I saw some nice kind of weedy areas.
was bass fishing.
Waves. Rock the boat. Alright, well,
Yeah, so like
this concludes for this journal because I'm getting pushed towards the coast because this wind is strong, man. But it's fun kayaking.
you hear that?
Onward. So
That's
here's
literally me, and I'm like, the
journal.
wind is strong, and at the end you can kind of see the boat just like it's just constantly like.
This concludes for this journal because I'm getting pushed towards the coast because this wind is strong, man. But it's fun kayaking.
You can hear.
Here's turtle all the way in the back.
I'm in denial. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
It's my first
I think the reason why I was videoing it too is because I was kind of uncomfortable about it. Oh, I'm trying to see. I'm more of like.
peaceful ones.
Oh, I had a really bad mustache. Just realized that. But yeah, no. So that was the first time I went kayaking. It was by myself, which you can do unless there's a way to do it. Definitely, I think recommending hiking with someone is a good thing. Just because you never know, unless always wear a life jacket. I know it's crazy, but just do it because you never know. Especially with like my kayak, I have a stand on top. There's definitely times where I could almost tip it over. If I lean too far, but just be careful with that. I can't tell you how many times I've almost had my fair share of tips. But I've never actually tipped over. Believe it or not, I've never actually tipped. There was one time when I was a kid, I tipped over in a canoe, which tipping over in a canoe sucks. That is not fun. I don't know if anyone's been tipped over in a canoe. It's not fun. And I'll never forget it. It was horrifying. And that was like another one of those drowning stories because I almost drowned because I was freaking out. But what ended up happening was we were in a canoe, me and my buddies. We were on a lake. And when these two other friendzo were together, they were horrible. They were horrible. Holy moly, man. And they'd always just get either into trouble or they just do dumb shit. And one of the dumb things that they did with me in the middle, was just tipping over the canoe, which was the worst thing in the world because I just remember being in the middle and being like, whoa, no, we're not doing this. And they're just like, 1, 2, 3. They tipped it over, and they learned instantly that was like the worst thing you could possibly do because it sucked. We got it flipped back over, and then we were like kind of leaning on it, but we couldn't get back in it. So we had to swim it back and pull it with us, and it was horrible. It was a horrible time. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But let's see if we got. What are we doing with time? What are we doing with time? We're at 50 minutes. You know what? I'm going to wrap it up. We talked about a few stories. So to end it up, I ended up losing my phone this weekend. I'm actually using my old phone right now, but it doesn't even work because it's just I have Wi-Fi, so I can use Messenger and all that stuff. But all my goodies are gone. So it's been challenging making posts, doing all that stuff. All my special important apps were on that device, so I don't know where it is. It's probably gonna be in a weird spot, but I don't know. So I normally would have a list of stories to talk about, and I would know what I was doing. I woke up today, and it was actually not until recently where Christina was just on break, and she was like, "Oh, what are you talking about in your Storytime podcast?" And I was like, "Oh shit, all my stories were on my phone." So I had to sit here and be like, "What am I gonna talk about?" So I hope today was a good one. I thought it was a perfect kind of time with the weather. If you're watching this now, it's almost summertime, so it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good summer. Take advantage of it. If you're in an area, if you're watching this in an area that's always sunny, F you. No, I'm kidding. Good for you. Good for you. Take advantage of it because there's people like us that, like me, where we only get it for probably good weather out of probably 4 months out of the year. So gotta take advantage of it. I'd say it's more like 6 months out of the year actually. But yeah, have a good one. Have a good rest of your week. Where am I playing this weekend? I am playing at Porter's Pub, Tumbledown Cafe Where else am I going to be playing at? I'm doing a private show tomorrow over at 110 Grill, but that's for the company. Friday I have off. Saturday I'm going to be at Porter's Pub. That's right. 6 to 9 p.m. 6:30 to 9:30. I'm sorry. 6:30 to 9:30. And then Sunday I'm going to be at Tumble Down from 11 to 2. And I have some good news. I'm going to be on some radio stations coming up. So it's going to be cool. Yeah. So I don't want to give away too much, but thank you for tuning in for today's podcast. Stick around for at 5, because 5 p.m. I'll be doing my live music podcast, or live stream, where I actually play music, and it's gonna be fun. So stick around, guys. I hope you guys like this video. Feel free to like it, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Keep being awesome. Much love, homies.